Getting started in photography is really hard, but we think that our free First Things First ebook makes it so much easier. Now, what we've done is we've been creating photography tutorial notes for decades, and we've put the best of our knowledge into this ebook. We've pulled from the various beginners courses that we have, including software as well, to give you some hints and tips about, what it is that you should be doing. So what we're trying to do here is just basically get you to where you can point, you can turn this thing on, make some decisions on the top and on the inside, and then what is it that you point at and how do you point at it? So we have this ebook, it's 64 pages. And basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to give you just the bare bones, enough to get out there to take good photographs, but also as well that they would be technically good as well as creatively very interesting as well. So in module 1, we talk about compositional tips. Honestly, where you point that camera is the most important thing. It beats almost everything else. I mean, of course you want to have technically good images. We want them sharp, and we talk about that in module 2. So rule of thirds, rule of sixths, what if the horizon line is available and you've got this mirror reflection? What about putting it in the middle? Then you don't necessarily need to see everything to make an interesting photo. And sometimes seeing too much makes for a less interesting photo. So on and on and on in the compositional tips, we talk about all of those things that you could be looking for in your images. Now up here in the top left-hand corner, there is a return to contents page. So you can always jump around, and we've got tabs down the bottom. You can do that as well. So module 2 is camera settings tips. So basically with the first bit, in many ways you wouldn't do the first bit first because you want to get into the technical, but really where you point the camera is so important. And then in module 2 we talk about what goes on in here. What goes on in here? What are the things that you want to do here? So for example, if I want to make a decision around the program mode, well, one of the reasons why I'd want to make that is that program mode is a safe mode to play around with shutters and apertures and rarely running out of light, rarely becoming underexposed within that. So if I show you how that works here, and I go into aperture priority. So aperture priority, I'm changing the aperture and the camera's changing the shutter. But the danger is, particularly if I go to shutter priority mode, that I end up running out of, that says high, that says got a light issue, got an exposure issue. Go to program mode. No matter what I do, I never reach that. Once the camera runs out of light, it just stops. If I go the other side, once the camera runs out of light, it stops. And here, it's not a very bright studio. It is for the cameras here, but not really for photography. So that's why you're not seeing any great high shutter speeds there. So we talk about those things because they're important, right? You don't have to go to manual to start off. And in fact, we would really strongly recommend you don't, particularly if you want to keep your hair, manual. That's what's going on in there. So even how you hold the camera, talk about camera shake, low light, you have an issue. Zoom lenses at the far end of the zoom, you're likely to have an issue even in bright sunlight. ISO to help you get better shutter speeds, what goes on within that, how the focusing works. So again, just trying to give you enough reference points so that you can work back against your own camera, because all the cameras are slightly different. They do have the same things, but they're called something different and they're put in a slightly different place. That's kind of it. Base level models have less choice. Top end models have more choice. It's kind of the way it goes. We live in a capitalist society. That's what they do to help you part with more money. So again, I can go back now to my contents page and I'll go to the module for image editing tips. And we're just making an assumption here that there's Lightroom, Photoshop, but we've also covered elements in here as well. So Photoshop elements, we're talking about raw files and the benefits of those and JPEGs and so on, and how you might edit them. And then you see we have Photoshop, just a couple of little tips around what are the kind of things you would be doing and where are they. Photoshop Elements is a really good option here. It's a one-off payment. Photoshop is a subscription method. We've done a video on Affinity Photo 2, which might be another option as well to consider. But basically Photoshop is you never own it. You basically are paying a subscription for the rest of your life. And as soon as you stop paying it, at the end of that period, subscription period, you're gone. Can't get into it anymore. Elements, Photoshop Elements has a lot of what most photographers need. Certainly newbies, high-end photographers, no, they're going to have some issues there, but low-end, not bad at all. And in fact, is very cheap, one-off price. You purchase it and you own it until the computer will no longer open it. About 8 years is kind of how new software works within that. Now, what we've also done is we've gone a bit further here as well, in that we've gone into the phone. With so many Bluetooth apps coming, you can actually control an awful lot within your phone. You can download the images from the camera to the phone. You can process in the phone. My own belief is that the vast majority of people, certainly at the newbie end, you know, that are relatively new to photography, they may not even be going to a computer. They may not have a laptop. So it could be a tablet that they're using, or it could be a phone that they're using. So we felt that it was really important to just go through what those options are. And we even go through how you might download them as well. So, you know, it's very basic stuff. But also how you can use that edit screen, how you can correct exposures, how you can just use all different adjustment tools. You can reduce high ISO, for example. And we've got a bonus tip about how to get a really high quality black and white conversion, knowing very little about how to make black and whites. And we tell you they're going to wow you, going to absolutely wow you. So we have this ebook. It's for free. And all you have to do basically is, if you log on to our website, and on the home page right there, you'll see free 64-page ebook. Okay, so you click on that and it will bring you to the book, which is for sale. It's a $4.99 value, $4.99, and it's worth that. But if you go to the end of the page, which indicates, you just pop in your details, your name, your email address, first and last name, and that will then bring you to the download, and it's free, and it can be used on any device, laptop, big computer, phone, tablet. It works really well, and all the links work as well, so you can hop around real quick to be able to find out how this works best for your camera. So basically, the course link will be in the comments, and we think that using this ebook, this free ebook, is going to make things so much easier for you getting out there in the summer weather, using the camera and using it as much as you can, because that's what it's all about.